Joseph, YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Ebony K. Williams has decided to be a proud single mother. We're talking about the woman who recently went viral for getting on camera with Iyanla Vanzant and saying that she would never date a bus driver because she believes that she's too good for one, and also there are a lack of men who are qualified to date her. She scanned the earth and she's found no man is worthy enough of her building a family with. This chick actually believes that, guys. This woman is the epitome of modern women today. Check it out for yourself.
Black women are availing ourselves to all of the options that our hard work and circumstances currently afford us. And that means that single motherhood by choice is going to be an option that more and more Black women consider and even exercise. So anybody that's in their feelings about that can go ahead and start to process right now. Because Black women that have the privilege to embark upon this expensive and oftentimes lengthy process will increasingly decide to forego marriages and partnerships that do not serve us and that are not in our best interests.
So they cannot find partnerships that serve them and they're not in their best interest. Remember, right? The key point here is by choice. All right. Look at this woman, man. Could you imagine? Look at her face. Look at the energy. Just the whole video. Are you getting the energy that this is the type of woman who's willing to cooperate with a man?
And now that bypassing those insufficient relationships does not have to come at the expense of motherhood, well, frankly, it's a whole new world. A world in which Black women are no longer subject to the desperation of being chose, because now we get to do the choosing. And as we choose, we do have to contend with the reality of a dismally small supply of Black sperm. Because most Black women on this journey, we want to create children that look like us and that look like our families, and that means we want Black sperm. And as we heard from Reese Brooks, it's the definition of slim pickings, and sometimes that means compromising on this aspect of your journey. Now, I am extremely fortunate that I was able to secure 2 vials of Black sperm from California Cryobank when I embarked on this part of my journey last fall. But I do know that I am an outlier.
Oh.
So I've got 2 concrete tips for single Black women who think this may be an option, either now or maybe later. Number 1, please check out Reproductive Village. It's a new Black-owned cryobank, and it's designed to help with this shortage of Black sperm. It's set to open its doors in D.C. later this year, and it will also have drop-off locations in Atlanta and Houston, Texas. And number 2, be proactive. I say go ahead and start looking right now for desirable Black sperm. You register with all 4 of the big cryobanks, and this includes California Cryobank, which I used, Seattle Sperm Bank, Fairfax Cryobank, and Zytex. Then you can scan the current options for Black sperm. And if you see some sperm that you like, I suggest go ahead and buying at least 2 vials right now. Even if you do not intend to use them anytime soon, trust me, it's better to have them than to be without them when the time comes.
So real quick, if you guys aren't familiar with what cryobanks are, cryobank is like an umbrella term for a clinic that collects and stores human tissue for later use. In this case, it's sperm. This can include donor sperm, eggs, umbilical cord, blood, stem cells, and embryos. In this case, of course, we're talking about sperm. These are the measures that a woman who cannot find a man worthy enough to cooperate with, right, who matches her expectations, this is what they usually resort to.
And listen, if you never need them for whatever reason, what a wonderful gift to give to a friend or a sorority sister in need. And also, most of those banks, they allow you to resell the sperm back to the bank itself. Listen, I know that many are going to question or even indict the decision that I and many other black women are making to become single mothers by choice. But I, like the women you heard from today, go by the creed of no regrets. I have, and many black women have, too much love, too many resources.
Too much love, she says.
And too rich of a community not to share these gifts with children of our own. Children that will one day, no doubt, enrich and contribute to the next generation of Black America.
All right, there you go, guys. So a lot of false things were just said in this video, many being this idea that there's a lack of good black men out here to raise children up with because they're either responsible, locked up, the same lies that have been fed to everybody for too long now. And studies have disproved a lot of this. For example, Oprah Winfrey actually talked about this in an episode I released not too long ago, about a month ago. Check it out.
There's been this landmark study from the Center for Disease Control, which debunked many of the myths surrounding black fathers. It found that the majority of black fathers live with their children. Black fathers are more likely to help their children with their homework, prepare meals, bathe and dress their children compared to fathers of other races. So the absent or deadbeat black father myth that many in America believe is really more like a lie.
It's a lie, right? It's a lie. This idea that black men are not good fathers and there's a shortage of black men. It's a lie. The idea that black women don't have options is a lie. She said it herself. Single mother by choice. So again, when you see in the future, this woman's looking for somebody to help take care of her son because he's unruly and has no masculine energy there to set him straight, and she's afraid of that man, men are not going to be rushing to go over there and help this lady out, right? Because again, single by choice. You cannot be out here feeling too bad for a lot of these women. They have options. They just think they're too good for their options. Case in point.
When some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society.
All right, guys, that's it. So you guys know how, most people felt about that video. There was some backlash, but again, the group of women who don't think they need a man to raise another man, they think they can do it themselves. Why? Because, well, they have the masculine energy, but they're not men. They think they can do it all by themselves. That's where women are at now. I don't need a man. I can do it all by myself. And I'm going to raise up these next men. And then on top of that, no regrets, like she said, because we know their daughters are going to complain about the men that they're raising. So guys, I couldn't find any comments for this video. As always, you guys know we check out the comments. So the comments are going to come from the members. Members of the Coffee Pod are baristas. Remember, you can become a barista yourself by checking out that link pinned to the top of the comment section. Become a member, support the channel. It's like $5 a month. And you get exclusive access to certain videos and priority to that, along with other things. Let's check out these comments from our members.
It's Chisha's AI brother, and I'll be reading comments from a few of our baristas. Our first loyal member says, BS, while eloquently put, is still BS. It's amazing that any notion proposed as a journey is given instant validation. So your selfish desire is so important that denying a child half of his/her identity is a viable option. Keep that same confident charisma when your child inevitably asks you, "Where's my father?" Ebony is an elite rebel. Please don't be surprised when you see women unequipped to hold a man's interest reinvent themselves into single mothers on purpose. Like far too many, she's a very attractive woman until she starts talking. I agree with this, barista. There's a sense of a rebellious spirit in how she even announced her decision to become a single mother. An almost FU underlining energy in her message. I think this mostly has to do with the fact that her last viral video with Miss Van Sant was met with a lot of pushback. Here's another comment from another loyal member that said, "When that wall hits though, if it hasn't already, we all handle loneliness in different ways, and it's not good most of the time." That's very true. It's probably challenging to cope with the fact that your career hasn't given you the satisfaction you thought it would have, and you are lonely and still want a family. Personally, I've always known that I wanted a family and children, which is why I think I took such a strong interest in modern relationships and marriage. That's also why I carefully picked the woman I am with now. Here's another side note. Do you guys remember the video I released a while back about the reporter who ended up deciding that she too wanted to be a single mom by choice at 51?
I am a 51-year-old single mom who lives at home with my parents, and I'm the happiest I have ever been.
No. What? Come on, you don't want to go to bed?
It wasn't always this way, so stick with me here. After graduating from college, I moved a lot, and often far from home. I spent most of my adult life working as a broadcast journalist. I had a dream career. I worked at CNN's Headline News for 7 years. I've interviewed phenomenal women like Janet Jackson and Misty Copeland. I've lived in New York, Doha, Qatar, and traveled to fabulous cities around the world. From the outside looking in, my life probably looked pretty amazing, and sometimes it was. The reality is more complex. I was often alone, expecting to meet a great guy and start a family. When that didn't happen, I decided at age 43 it was time to freeze my eggs.
That's far beyond geriatric pregnancy. My main point is, I think we will for sure see more and more women opting to be single moms by choice. Our only problem will be convincing people like Dr. Umar that these women did in fact choose to be at a statistical disadvantage. Our final comment from a loyal member says, "I think every single mom needs to have a father because fathers teach children important skills like confidence, resilience, respect, and kindness. Children raised by single mothers are more likely to not benefit on things such as school achievements, social and emotional development, health and success in the labor market." For her to say I'll be a proud single mother shows how she doesn't know what's best for her children. She refuses to let any man take charge or even be submissive to one. So I'll continue to pray for these children without fathers. Prayer hand emojis.
All right, guys, that's it. Shout out to our members and those comments that they left for the video. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Consider becoming a barista and official member of the Coffee Pod and channel. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.